Okay, welcome everyone. Sorry again for the short delay. We had some issues, so please let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, it's me, Sebi here in Minecraft. It's me. Don't worry, it's me. I've been stuck in the game. Please let me know if you can see me, because yeah, I wanted to try this new introduction here. Okay, so I can see me. Hey, DJ Maddie, hi Johnny, hi James. It's cool to see you all there. Let me know if things are working. I'm really excited to be here. And look behind me. Do you see this DevNation's show? So that is something that my son did for me this morning, building these blocks. It took him quite some time, so please, if you like, don't hesitate to make a quick tweet saying the awesome work that Sebi's son did. So his name is Lois, L-O-E-S, like Lois and Clark, but it's used as a voice name here in France, and he did that. So look, I can even say hello, and that's hooray. Okay, so I did this introduction because, and you cannot see my lips moving because I didn't manage to find a way to do that in Minecraft. But you know what? I can walk, I can go there, hello, there we go, I can spring. And, oh, let me go out of this. And why did I do that? Because later in the game, in the show, well, it's almost a game, we will see some integration of Minecraft and Kubernetes, okay? Let me switch back to a normal view. And again, don't hesitate to say how awesome these blocks are, okay? Let me see. I should go back now on my normal view. Let me go on my feedback. I have so many machines, so many things are running. I got an extra Windows machine today for, for this. So, show number 6. I have an issue to start the streams. I'm so thankful that that Edson is there, because I launched a stream and YouTube doesn't see it. I had the issue last week, but anyway, we will have the interview in a few minutes. So to be completely honest with you, my guest had an issue. He was double booked. So he had another meeting, and the other meeting was booked before I booked him. So he warned me yesterday, sorry Sebi, I won't be able to do the interview. But this morning we could meet and we did the interview and I recorded it, and I will play the recording right now. So please stay tuned, it's really interesting. It's Nicolas Frankel. We will talk about data streaming, about containers, about Kubernetes. And after the interview, we will come back to Minecraft and Kubernetes. Okay? So, like always, small instrument to play. This week, I'm still on the Brazilian instruments. This is Pandeiro. Okay? So, the jingle to start the show number 6 with the Pandeiro. Okay, small jingle. And we go. Hi, Nicola. Thank you so much for being our guest in the DevNation show. So, for people who don't know you, could you introduce yourself in 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute, as you want? Introduce yourself.
Hello, Sebastian.
Tell me who you are.
Thanks for having me. Well, I'm Nicolas Frankel. I'm French, like you. And I've been working in IT for like now more than 20 years. For a long time, I was like doing consulting work as developer or technical roles. And 2 years ago, I decided to switch to be a developer advocate. Because at some point in time, I mean, when you are a consultant, you end up solving more like organizational issues. Or let's say you are blocked by organizational issues because you cannot solve them. And technical not that huge. And yeah, in most organizations, in most companies, those are always the same organizational issues, and it's super frustrating. While when you are a developer advocate, you go to meet the real people, the tech people, and you can talk to them, and you can do like proof of concept on some crazy stuff. So that's me.
Okay. So you're a developer advocate like me, as like some of our guests we had in the other shows. And I always ask these questions. We were supposed to travel like crazy because we are developer advocates. And then something weird happened back in March. And we were stuck at home, lockdown. So how did you handle this situation?
Actually, not very well. I mean, I'm not alone in that case. The week before the lockdown in France, I was in the US, and I was supposed to go to Romania and Turkey and come back on Saturday from Turkey and fly to New Zealand, to Australia on Monday. That was really crazy. And then, and then what happened is I had like this week before I had like 5 talks. 3 were supposed to be in California, 1 in Romania, 1 in Turkey. So finally I gave 1 talk in the US. I had like 10 people in the room because this stuff already started happening, so there were not that many people online on site. The second conference, it was a meetup, like got moved online, and the third was cancelled. Then when I had to go to Romania, 2 days before, they told me, "Oh, we canceled the events." So I I moved my flight to Turkey, and then 1 day before they said, "Oh, we canceled the event as well." And afterwards it was, and it's not super great. I mean, it's very frustrating. I mean, I understand we are in a very privileged position because we still have a job, which is already, I mean, that's already something. But from a subjective point of view, talking to your computer when you are doing talk is not that great. You've got no feedback. I mean, I noticed that when I talk on site, you talk and then you have feedback from the audience. Even if they are not talking, you can see their attention, whether they are interested or not, and you can start perhaps looking at somebody who notes constantly, or perhaps make a joke. But when you are online, you've got no such feedback. Basically, you're just talking to your screen, and on site you've got it's an energy loop. You give energy, you receive energy. When you are online, you just give energy to an empty void, and at the end of the talk, you are just tired, which it's not great. It's not great, let's say.
Well, I was like you because I really like to build a bridge with the audience, like you say, create this loop. And in the beginning, I was doing live events online. I'm missing that. But one thing is different, and now I learned to use that, and people are getting used to do that, is using the chat. And actually, now people, and the talks are different now, because I ask in the beginning, please go on chat, be interactive, say where you come from, ask questions. I will take the time to read the chat. And this way, we really managed to build a lot of interaction, even more interaction than during a real event, because people just ask questions during your talk, and I can come back on some part of my talk. And from one talk to another, you have the same people coming back in the chat room, and we started to build some kind of community in the chat, because people were chatting between them and them with me. So on one side, it's hard, but we have this new way of communicating, and we got to use to do this because we are going to do that for a while, I think. And at least that is where I can find back this building a bridge with the audience, because I think that's a really important point.
I had the same experience lately, but it was a recorded talk. And yeah, when I cannot do both, I cannot focus on what I'm telling people and read the chat at the same time. So before there was sometimes in some online meetups, there is a moderator who can read the questions. But at GCon of Dev, I had the recorded talk, and then I could focus only on the chat. And yeah, that was really great. The interactions were really great, but I need to record the talk beforehand. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I cannot manage to do both.
Okay. Yeah. That's depends how.
Yeah, I have a single track brain.
Okay. Hey. So yeah. Tell me a bit about your daily job. Maybe a bit about your company, Hazelcast. What are you doing there?
Sure.
What is your company doing?
So I work at a company called Hazelcast. Hazelcast has two main products. In the Java world, we are probably known as an in-memory Datagrid. So basically, an in-memory Datagrid is distributed data structures. So instead of having your map or your hash or your dictionary, whatever, in your own runtime, then you distribute it over the network. It has, the main features is you can do, of course, you can do sharding. So basically, you don't need to have all the data on your runtime, or you can do replication. That we do that very well. In the Java world, we have a lot of integration points. So for example, Hazelcast is a Gcache implementation. We are a Hibernate second level cache implementation. We are a Spring cache implementation. We are a Spring Station well, in the Java world, we are everywhere. And our latest product is completely different, is stream processing. So we leverage these in-memory data grids to do stream processing, but in memory and distributed again over the network. And it's very interesting. You can do really crazy things. The usual standard is, you take your data, you do some analytics, and this is the usual use case. But for example, I have a demo where I read data from a REST endpoint that tells you about the position of public transportation in Switzerland, and then I display that on a map. So you can do data visualization. I have another demo that shows how you can do continuous deployment of JVM bytecode, because every compilation is an event, so you can stream the bytecodes to somewhere else. So it's very interesting. It opens a completely new doors and crazy stuff.
Yeah. The demo of streaming of compilation, that sounds crazy. And it's really, it's not something that you see actually, because you say the visualization of public transport in Switzerland is probably cool, but it's something that you see in a lot of demos. But what you just mentioned, streaming bytecode, so that's what you do probably that come from a compilation process.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great.
There are limitations. I actually, the idea came from a colleague, and I thought, wow, that's a really, really good idea. Once you start seeing the world as events, you can apply stream processing in a lot of different use cases.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And so, in that streaming process, do you compete with Kafka? Clearly, or
actually no. We compete with Redis. Redis is our main competitor. Actually, Kafka no, because the huge difference between Kafka and Jet is with Kafka you write on disk and you read from disk.
I was about to say.
So it has the benefits of being persistent. It has the downside of being slower than just reading from memory. So actually, Jet interacts very nicely with Kafka. So that it can be a source, it can be a target, of a Jet pipeline. We also have nice interaction with Debezium. So basically, oh yes, I knew that would be of interest to you. So by default, Debezium runs towards to write on Kafka, but we hijacked it a bit so that we can use Debezium to get the result in the Jet pipeline and then stream it somewhere else. So I have a demo that has a cache. So basically, I'm using the in-memory Datagrid as a cache, and then it runs very well until basically you have a new writer to the data source. Then your cache is not in sync anymore with your source of truth. So in general, what you do is you think about time to live, which was the reason why naming things and cache invalidation are the hardest things in computer science, because what would be the correct time to live? If you're writing on the data source as a specific frequency, well, you can adapt it. That's fine. But if it cannot be predicted, then it's very hard. Like if you refresh, if your TTL is too low, that means that you will need to access the data source too many times, whereas the data hasn't changed. And if it's too high, you risk that your cache is actually not in sync with the data source and you're reading data that is stale. And that's, depending on your use case, it might be really bad. So what I'm using is I'm using Debezium to hook onto the changes. And then I have this Jet pipeline that pushes the changes back to the cache.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the cache is always in sync, and your application doesn't need to read from the data source. And yeah, again, you have those, when you start having this streaming tool, you can apply it to a lot of different situations, completely different situations and context and problems.
Yeah. It's true that that concept of streams is completely changing the way how we are handling data. I'm not sure everyone is realizing this, but yeah, it's a game changer. It's happening progressively, but I think it's really a game changer.
And Debezium for that is really good because it's a good abstraction layer. I only need to use the Debezium API, which is wrapped by a Jet API on top. And then I let Debezium handle all the gritty-nitty details about, hey, this is Postgres, this is Oracle, this is completely different structure. That's really good.
Yeah, maybe we can just remind for people who don't know what Debezium is. Do you want to give the definition of? Do you have
if Gunnar is listening, so I hope I won't tell anything wrong.
Well, now
Debezium is an implementation of change data capture. So basically, you're hooking into your database, and where there is a change, when there is a write and a delete, then you get the event and you can act upon it. And that makes it very, very powerful. The hardest part of change data capture is knowing about the implementation details of your database. So yes, Oracle or Postgres or MySQL have all different ways to handle this log, this change log, and having this abstraction layer is really, really great.
Yeah. Okay. Really interesting. Have you blogged about that? About this Debezium integration, or can we find that back somewhere?
Yeah, sure. We have it in our list of connectors. And I have a blog post about the Evergreen cache. I also have a talk about it. So yeah, if you are interested, I can send you the links and then you can reference them.
The Evergreen cache. Okay. So to continue about your blog, I saw that you are blogging a lot, which is great. Do you blog every week or more than
I try to, yes. I missed a week this year. I don't remember which one, but yeah, I try to publish like weekly blog post once every Sunday.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. And I was looking at some of your blog posts, and so I make the switch now to more containers, cloud, stuff like that. I saw a really interesting article you wrote about containers, about Docker. Docker and the different options to how to build an image. Explaining multi-stage, explaining what Jib was. So I really like it because you came back to the basics on how to build a container, and I think it's really important. And by the way, I just do a shameless plug. This week we will have our first master course about containers, which is exactly this: going back to the basic. What is a container? How do you build a container? So that was it. But I really liked your article, so I will point to it to the people as well. And so do you have an opinion on all these different tools? Is there one tool that you prefer? Do you still prefer Docker, or do you prefer Jib, or what is your personal feeling about these tools?
Well, right now, for example, I was very impressed with Pack, and when I tried it, I was very disappointed, like really, really disappointed. Sorry if I'm offending the people behind, but like 2 weeks ago, it worked perfectly. And then for the talk, I did a talk this Saturday about this exact subject, like taking the stuff from the blog post, and I rebuilt it. And though I used a tag, a version tag, it's downloaded a new image.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah, exactly. Oh, so, okay. I mean, version tags are not immutable, but they are supposed to be. And if you need to use the hash to have something immutable, then something is definitely wrong. And worse than that, the new image doesn't work. Like, I have a Go bug. When it does the builds, I have like a Go bug. What can I do? Nothing. So I don't know where it comes from. I was wondering, and then I had no time to go deeper. But Jib is really, really good, but really, really good. I mean, it's simple but clever. Like the way of thinking is jars. I mean, self-executable jars. I mean, if you were not using Java E servers, they were meant as a deployment unit. Yeah, so you could deploy them, our self-executable jars. And then in the world of containers, this deployment unit is the container itself. So Jib is just removing this like jar wrapper, and it's true. Yeah, well, it's simple, but I mean, it's just a way of looking at things. Why is there a jar now? And since Java can execute like code without any jars and just passing the class pass, it makes it much easier. And then it's before I don't know how long it has been, but before it had 3 layers. Like you had the class. I mean you had the class layer, the resource layer, the dependency layers, and now it has changed. So you have 4 layers, and what this additional layer is for snapshot dependencies, which again is very good because snapshot dependencies, of course, they are not supposed to be immutable. So you need every time to get the latest version. And so being on the top layer, it means you can still keep the older layers. So also very, very good. It's also scaffold compatible. So if you are using Kubernetes during your development and you need to check that every time it's still compatible, scaffold can detect the changes, take them from Jib and build it with Jib and deploy it to your cluster. it's really, really great.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Jib as well. Yeah.
I'm still following how you can do it with Spring Boot. Like Spring Boot came back in force, having like using pack internally with the Spring Boot Maven plugin. It works as well very well. What I really like also is with this pack stuff, with these cloud native build packs, you can have like small configuration changes, and like with one additional parameter, you can have a GraalVM image. So you can have a Spring Boot app with a GraalVM image, which is really crazy. Like 6 months ago, it was like, hey, it doesn't work. There is too much reflection. There is too much magic, blah, blah. And now you can have like just like a native executable coming from Spring Boot. So what I really like with all those like GraalVM things is you can, your ecosystem, you can keep your tools, you can keep everything and still be able to have a container-friendly application in the end, because JVM is really great, but for long-running processes. If you have containers that you kill every now and then the benefits of the JVM are not that great anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I do the same with Quarkus, not Spring Boot.
Yeah.
And one of the use cases of native, because I explained the same thing as you. The JVM is great when it's warmed up. It has huge performances, but still it takes some time to start up, and it uses quite amount of memory. If you want to go serverless with Knative, for instance, then having a native image makes a huge difference. And I demo that. I have Knative and I have 0 pods, and I make them start up, and that makes sense. And just to finish on Jib, I love the Jib integration in Quarkus. So it's just an extension, and it also works with Decorate from Kubernetes. So in one Maven command, you can build your project, create the image, push it to the registry, generate the YAML files, and apply it to your cluster. So in one command, you can have the whole stuff running. It's a lot of magic. It's great for demos. Maybe I use it for demos. But yeah, it's a nice tool. And that makes me the switch to, well, we talk about containers, to Kubernetes a bit. I saw you also blogged a bit about Kubernetes. I was reading just before the interview your article where you were explaining what are controllers, what are operators. Again, really interesting because you go back to the basics. I really like also the part where you say, should I learn a new language to write my operators? And you explain the whole thing about Go and etc. But about Kubernetes. So you're using Kubernetes, and that is something that I ask to all my guests that use Kubernetes. What is your favorite feature of Kubernetes?
First, I'm not a Kubernetes expert, really. I'm playing with Kubernetes. I mean, I'm a developer advocate. So as I think it was Josh Long who said he's an expert on the Hello World application.
Exactly.
But so far, what I really like a feature that I really like, and that is not well known, is the init containers. So you can have you can describe a pod with multiple images, and sometimes you need to initialize this or this image when it starts, and this init containers allows you to do that. And the good thing is the contract is if basically until this initialize container has not finished successfully, then your containers, they won't start.
Yeah.
That's really good. Meaning you can be sure that when you start, you have the exact state that you need. So for example, you can read from a remote Git repository and put that into a shared volume in the pods, and you know that it will be there when you start. I think it's a nifty feature that is, well, not as well known as it should be, but it's really good. Again, I'm not an expert, so probably there are a lot of features that are really great, but this one I love, at least for my usage.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You're the first one mentioning the init container, and yeah, to be honest, it's a powerful feature, and yeah, maybe not used enough, but yeah. And then my second question, and I'm looking at the time. Yeah, wow. Second question, last question, is there any feature, any feature that you dream of and that will be included in the next Kubernetes release? What feature would that be? Do you have one in mind?
One of the issues I've right now, I'm not a SRE, but I think that it seems there is a lot of confusion between all the available, how it's called again, the health endpoints and ready endpoints, and now they have added a startup parameter.
Yeah, it's a startup now.
Yeah, so I would have liked it to be like, let's say, perhaps refactored, so that it's less confusing. Like every time I try to do this stuff, I need to reread everything because I need to make sure that, yeah, if I don't want to kill the port again when it's starting and it takes too much time, but the health endpoint is not ready. And I mean, it can be a hard thing for beginners. And even though I've played with it a bit, for me, every time I need to reread it. So adding one additional stuff could have been a refactor. I mean, I'm a developer, and instead of sometimes adding too many layers, sometimes it might be better to do a breaking change and to refactor. So this one, I think, could be a good thing to refactor or to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really interesting. Yeah. I like it. Every time I ask this question, I get other ideas. So I should regroup all of them and make maybe a post one day.
Yeah, it depends a lot on the experience. As I mentioned, I'm not an expert, so this is the area that I looked upon. I said, because Spring Boot has also like those endpoints. So basically it's the best of both worlds because you just wire them together. And if you do it in the wrong way, then, your pods will never start. And
yeah. Yeah. No, I know because I had the issue lately with my live demo. I added my health checks, but I didn't recompile and we didn't make a new image. But I applied the new YAML file. So the YAML file was pinging my health points and the pod was never starting. I said, why?
Yeah.
While I was explaining how important it was and everything.
And now your kubectl describe my pod.
Exactly. So I'm looking, wow, we spent more time than I thought, but it was really yeah, it's almost 30 minutes already. And usually I do 20 minutes, but yeah, we are French.
Time flies. Yeah, French people, they talk a lot.
But anyway.
And notice that we didn't complain.
And we didn't complain. Yeah, we don't complain that much. A bit, but yeah. Hey, Nicola, thank you so much for this interview.
Thanks for your invite.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. And I will share all the info about your blog and your Twitter handle so everyone can look you up and start stalking you. Okay.
Thanks, Sebastian, for your invite.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wish you a good day.
And we are back live. Awesome. Thank you for watching this interview. Sorry again, we couldn't do it live, but it was interesting for me, interesting experience to be able to watch myself, put some links on the chat, and yeah, So I really like this interview, and I like the question that I asked to everyone: what is your favorite Kubernetes feature? And he came with the init container, which he was the first one to do, and also the feature that he would like to have a bit of simplification with these endpoints and the health checks. I think it's a great point. So please in chat, tell me what you think about this. And I see that already you are there. You are the expert. What do you think about these wishes that Nicola had? Anyway, it's time for exciting stuff. Well, it was exciting in the interview, but now we are going to play again all together. Let me double check, because that everything goes alright. Please let me know in the chat that everything is good on your side, please. That reassures me every time. And like I said, I like to see people chatting on the chat. And yeah, okay, so let me switch to another view here. You should see now something interesting. Let me double check on my feedback here. Yeah, so you should see me. Here you should see Minecraft with again this awesome banner that my son did for me. I'm so proud of him. And on this side you can see a container. So I have a container connected, a Kubernetes cluster connected to Minecraft. How does this magic happen? Okay, let me lay over this. Yes, okay, you can see it. Awesome. So I'm using a project. Let me go to there. It's not. Where is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, this one. This project is called KubeCraft Admin. It has been developed by Eric Jaradim. He's based in Germany, I think, and I would like to thank him a lot, because he saw Friday that I started playing with his project, and during the whole weekend he tried to fix all the things that I reported on him, and all the findings I did about this integration, and he made several fixes, and he made a new image to deploy, and I was able to fix it. So thank you a lot, Eric. And Eric's project, so it's called KubeCraft Admin, and it just opened a WebSocket connection between this software, so you can run it as a container. You will see I run it as a pod in a cluster. And it makes a WebSocket connection with your Minecraft installation, okay? And to do this, he's using another great open source project, which is called MCWSS, okay? And it is another project, which is the library to maintain this Minecraft connection between your software that you developed and Minecraft, okay? So with these two elements, you can make crazy funny stuff, okay? And let me see the time. I'm pretty good in time, okay? Let me go back. Let me remove this one, and you should see here. Let me double check here everything. You see here I have a cluster with my KubeCraft admin pod running, okay? As I said, you can run it as a pod. I made some code changes. I will do pull request so that it's written in Go. And instead of reading your local kube config, I use the in cluster config. So this pod can manipulate pods, read pods, destroy pods, okay? Just need a service account with enough rights, okay? And let me go there, and there it is. We have a deployment here, okay? And if I go to this deployment, it's running one pod, and I got some environment variables. Maybe you don't, oh yeah, you see them. And I can specify which namespace this KubeCraft admin needs to listen to, okay? Well, I started with Doom, 2 weeks ago. I have some, to be honest, I have some hard-coded Doom namespaces strings still in other software. So I keep using this namespace Doom, okay? What I will do, just to be sure, because it's still work in progress, I do that during the weekend and in the morning right before the show. And because it's so easy to do, let me just redeploy the pod. So I scale to 0 and I scale to 1. Okay? And this pod, so if we go there, let's wait a bit for the pod running. Come on, let me see. It's running. Okay, if I go there and I go to the logs, I can see it's listening. It's ready to listen. Okay, and now I can connect my Minecraft to this. And how do I connect my Minecraft? Well, how do you do that in Cube? You create a service to expose this deployment. So I have a service using the load balancer of Amazon. And, well, I don't need to show you that, but let me go on my other computer here on my Minecraft, okay? And what I can do is here, open the chat, and I have a command, okay, which is, well, here is the URL of my server, but I do /connect, the URL, port 8000 /WS, you don't see it here, but it's not really important. And by doing this, I should, if the demo gods are with me, I should be connected. Look, I'm now connected with my pod running in OpenShift, okay? And starting from there, well, I can do some funny things. So let me go just in this view. It's easier for me. And let me find a nice place here. Well, this place here, for instance, and here what I can do is type init, and what it will do, it will read my Doom namespace, and look, and create here some pens, and in each pens I should have, once I go here, connected to my Kubernetes cluster, let me see, and I got a bug. I was hoping to not have a bug. If I connect here, I should see my pods. Okay, let me see. There's not a problem. Let's cheat a bit. Let's go to my other pen where I tested this morning. Ooh, there we go. Hello. And here we have my Doom pod. Okay. I did this test this morning. So a pod is a pig. That is the nice thing about this. Okay, and let me try to go to my namespace, and let's hope it's working. So let me go to my Doom namespace. Let me go to my deployments. I don't have deployments yet. That's correct. And here I have my Doom pod. Let me try to create a deployment. Okay, let's do it this way. You can create a deployment here from OpenShift console. You should see it here, okay, and just use a test image, hello OpenShift, let me create these 3 pods, and let's hope that something will happen here. Let me see, looks like the connection, something, no, you know what, it's too bad. Let me try something. I should be able to do a sync here. Let me sync, and it should sync with my, okay, he decided to play with me, that's not a problem. Let's try to do it again. Again, it's work in progress. It has been working yesterday, this morning, and of course, well, I was lucky until now. The demo gods never really played with me. Looks like they're playing with me now. And what I will do, I will just go to my Minecraft here. I will go to my pods and see what's happening. Maybe I can have some logs here. Start syncing? No, it should work. Okay, so let me just, again, let me just undeploy the pod. Let me try that. Let me see, and let's hope it will be working. Okay. So here you can see connection terminé in French. You say the connection is broken because I killed my deployment. And again, I will just try to connect. I hope this time it will really, really work. I hope he's connected to the right cluster. Let me, because I have two clusters, because I will talk right after this stream with different setup. And let me just double check that my service is correct. Let me go to my service. Does it end up with the same 888? Yes, it looks correct. Okay, so let me connect to Craft Admin. Okay, here you can see it. And let me do an init again. It should create everything for me. And this time, let's really hope. Let's really hope. You have to believe me. Connected to Kubernetes cluster, and you don't want to show me anything. I really don't know what is happening. That is such a shame because hey, Eric, try to create a new word. That will work. Yes, you're right. Eric is there. Let's do that, yeah. Because no one else is there. Okay. Let me create a new word. We have some time. So Eric, that created this integration, is here over there. So that is awesome. Let me create live and let me put in creative mode. Yeah, sure. And I need to enable cheat. Oh, it's already enabled. Okay. I create the word. Okay, there we go. And I managed to get it working again with the same word, but yeah, not sure why he play with me here. Let me see. Can I do my connect? Do I have? Yes, I have here. So let me create a new word. We are connected, okay, and now I do an init that creates the pen for me, the pens for me. Oh, and let me. Thing is that my son plays this game. I never really played this game, and now he doesn't want to connect. Look, oh, Eric, you know what I had? I probably had to restart my. My cluster, don't worry, we will manage to do it. I was lucky until now. You know what? I can also delete my pod, because there's a deployment behind. It will just recreate a pod. Maybe I will need to create another word, but I don't think so. Let me go here. It's a nice place. Okay, it's running, and let me connect. Okay, Craft Admin. Just for this, it's already awesome. You see there's communication happening. But for sure, you want to see more. And I totally understand that. And I'm doing my best connected to the Kubernetes cluster. Oh, there we are. There we are. It's working. It's working. Awesome. So, look. We got here my Doom pod. And we got here this these other Doom examples that was from the deployment that you can see here. So the great thing with this integration here is that every deployment type is a different animal. So pigs are pods, horses are deployments, cows are replica sets, and over there you can see, oh, I got a fox. I hope you didn't eat my, yes, oh, that is funny. I have a fox there, and he ate my chicken, which are my services. That is awesome. Not sure what is going to happen now, if it will still be working. But yeah, you're supposed to have some chickens there that represent services, okay? And maybe he has eaten my service that exposed my pot. I don't think so. Anyway, that is awesome. If I go back to my Doom namespace here, and I go to my example deployment, so this horse here, and if I go for 4 pods, you should see appearing a new pig, because I'm creating a new pig. Yeah, there he is. You see the pig? That is a new pig. Okay. You know what? When you create a deployment, when you have a deployment. Let me double check that everything goes well in your side, okay? When you create a deployment and that you change, for instance, an environment variable, it will create a new replica set for you. Okay, so let me say greeting here. So I'm changing the deployment by adding an environment value. So here I say blah, and I say save, and look what is happening here. You see a new cow. A new cow has been created, and it is creating my new pods, my new pigs. It's doing a rolling update. And look, all the poor pigs, the other pigs from the previous replica sets are destroyed. Okay, I guess 2 minutes left, and we are going to try to do something else now. So let me share this with you. Okay, I'm still happy it was working. Please, if you all go on this site, you will come on. It could take some time to load. You should come on a page showing Scratch. Okay, you remember 2 weeks ago we played a bit with Scratch. Okay, and what we're going to do is play the Tetris game again. And for that you need a game. You need to download a game. Okay, it's a small archive. I will give the link to you right now. Okay, so please download this, and once you have downloaded this, you don't see it. Yeah, let me double check here. Yeah, okay, once you are in Scratch, okay, please do file load from your computer. So if you were there 2 weeks ago, you should still have the game. It's called Tetris Show, okay? And that will create a Tetris for you, okay? And if you play the Tetris, every time that you do a line, it should create a pod, okay? So while you are downloading the game, let me try it. You should. Okay. And let me try. So I'm trying to do a line now. And I will see if other pigs appear. I know that you are playing the game as well. Okay? And now I'm about to do a line. So let me switch screen view. And let me take a look here. Let me stop the game. I should have a new pig that appears in the game. Do pod example. Where is it? Maybe it's over there. Did it work? Let me see if it worked. Okay, because that is also work that I did this morning. Let me see the network. You should have created. So let me create a line again. I see a lot of pigs, so it's probably working. You know what? Let me double check this. Let me double check this in the OpenShift console. Okay? And we still have this fox there that is doing. Oh, look, it's working. So I see 2 people that has created already a pod. Okay? So one was probably from me, and another one, I don't know if you see it here in my list. So these 2 pods that you can see here has been created by you, okay? And they should appear here, okay? And they are called pod. Oh, there he is. I see one. And I could kill one, but I don't want to kill because when I tested this game yesterday, I had the sound on, and every time that you kill a pig, it makes a lot of sounds, and then you have some bacon. And my daughter say, "Oh, Dad, please, can you stop playing this game? It makes me so sad." Yeah. So let's just create pods, okay? And I won't try to kill them. And there is a fox that ate my service, which is awesome. I love that. That was totally not planned. Okay, my fox ate my services. Let me see there. Oh, I see another pod is getting created, so other people are playing. I love, yeah. James, I love bacon as well. And I saw your question about Minecraft. So Minecraft is this. It's a world where you can do whatever you want with blocks. To be honest, I never really played it, but all the kids play it as crazy. Okay, so let me see how it goes here with the pods. I see some pods creating. I'm happy it worked at the end. Thank you, Eric, and again, congratulations on the integration. Yeah, I had to create a new word. I have to see what is exactly happening. I will report that to you. I will make some GitHub issues. I'm going to stop the stream now because I need to give the channel back for the next stream. And myself, I need to prepare myself for my next talk, which is about Knative. And I need to set up my clusters and everything. Next week, our guest will be Vlad, and I'm really bad in pronouncing the last name, Vlad Mistishika. You know him as the Hibernate specialist, the persistence specialist. If you have questions about Hibernate persistence, performance in persistence, Vlad is the guy. Okay, we will ask him a lot of questions around this, but also about his book, which is a bestseller. And I will ask him a bit how he managed to make such a great book, how much work it was, etc. Again, thank you everyone so much. I'm having so much with this stream. And well, I see you next week. Bye-bye.